237 years after Paul Revere rode to Concord, Massachusetts, let us not forget. I'm Barry Hinckley. I'm the Republican candidate for U.S. Senate here in Rhode Island. And I will be defeating Sheldon Whitehouse on November 6th. With a very strong liberty message. Friends, Rhode Islanders, countrymen, lend me your ears, because unfortunately, Rhode is burning. The most overused phrase in America today is that we are the wealthiest nation in the world. Sadly, we are not. We are overstretched, overcommitted, debtor nation that sadly owes more money than our entire accumulated wealth. Our balance sheet is a train wreck. We have at least $70 trillion in unfunded liabilities. We have 15+ trillion in accumulated national debt, and we have an income of about 2.2. It's like having a $700,000 mortgage, $155,000 on the credit cards, and you make 22 grand a year. Hardly a wealthy nation. The bad behavior you see in Washington, D.C. that caused the horrible balance sheet that we are faced with today, that bad behavior is caused by powerful people, special interest politicians, I call them, fighting over money. Where no one would give an inch, the power brokers not giving an inch, what did they do? They kicked the can down the road to our children. Why did they do that? Because our children weren't at the table. They had no representation. Unfortunately, our children are not represented by many in Washington, D.C., but Dr. Paul has been there for 30 years. 30 years he has been sounding the alarm about the financial train wreck that is our fiscal policy. He has been sounding the alarm about our tragic foreign policies, and he's been right. He's been straight with the American people. In fact, he's one of the only politicians consistently straight with the American people. They call him the grandfather of fiscal responsibility. I call him the founder of political honesty. He's been inspiring to me personally as a businessman who decided the best way to protect and defend the future of my children and of your children is to fight for our country back, so we can hand them a country with a strong balance sheet, not one that today is caused by the bad behavior in Washington, D.C. So it's with great honor and great privilege that I first introduced Emmanuel Completo, who's the head of Youth for Ron Paul here in Rhode Island. Emmanuel, who by the way is running as a delegate, I promise you he will bring Ron Paul to this stage to get you fired up. Thank you very much.
Over the past 12 months, I've made a multitude of discoveries which have led to my standing here today. I discovered that only one presidential candidate has a a message which does not contradict his political record or his personal life. I discovered that only one presidential candidate has any true respect for civil liberties, human freedom, or human life. I discovered that only one presidential candidate has demanded accountability from the Federal Reserve, which has destroyed our currency. It has wreaked havoc on our economy while pointing the finger of blame at everyone except for itself. I discovered that only one presidential candidate has been brave enough to confront the special interests which profit by setting our families and our friends into war, and only that candidate can be trusted to bring our troops home. As millions of young people like me and millions of others make these same discoveries, media outlets are declaring this presidential candidate's race to be finished. But the fact is that this campaign, this revolution, is about to make history. Just in the past 5 days, we've discovered that this candidate, who supposedly is out of the race, won a majority of the state delegates from Colorado. Minnesota, and he will win a plurality of delegates in many more states in the months to come as the real results are determined at the state conventions. We will bring hundreds of delegates to the August convention with full intention to make him the Republican nominee